We hit 2K subs not too long ago, peeps, so thank you guys for that. I've mentioned it in a couple of videos and stuff like that. But for this kind of special video, I want to do something a little bit different than the gameplays and the tip videos. I want to judge your guys, well, not judge, but like react to your guys' DD teams that you sent me. I tweeted out a couple weeks ago asking for people to send me their DD rosters, and I've seen guys like Castro. If you watch FIFA, Castro 1021, he does this a ton with like squad builders and stuff like that. I want to do something like that for DD. So I'm going to be looking at some of your guys' DD teams. Like to be in a video like this, be sure to follow me on Twitter. I always tweet it when I need stuff like that. And some people sent me their teams on Twitter, etc. That's how you get in this video. Let's get right into it, man. Starting off with my man Waylon, one of my close buddies. And okay, we're starting off the rotation. So he sent me this through the MLB The Show companion app on your phone. There's actually a companion app, so where you can download on your phone. You can access Diamond Dynasty. You can open up packs. You can't like play any games or anything like that, but you can access like the market. You can open up packs, etc., etc. Basically, all like you can basically do anything except play the game on there. So he sent me his rotation and his lineup here, and this is a pretty solid one. I don't know too much about Musina anymore. Bobby Miller solid. I personally didn't really like Corbin Burns when I used them, but Holiday and Keuchel are two like musts in my opinion. Those are two definitely top 5 pitchers in the game. So he doesn't have collections done, so there probably won't be like a Clemente or a Frank in his actual lineup. Corbin Burns is actually really good. I just stink with him. Bobby Miller's okay. Musina is okay. I mean, as long as he's getting decent production into these three, like they can definitely be upgraded, but you know, they're not bad. Look at his bullpen. Clay Holmes, Devin Williams, solid. Hader's good. Chapman's good. He only has 2 lefties in there. I would probably take out Clase for like an Aaron Loop maybe, and I think that would almost be my exact bullpen, except for I obviously really want to get that Raleigh Fingers, who you know, he should probably pick up or pick from the program, and Kenley. So this is, I mean, pretty solid bullpen, except I would probably take out Clase or Houston Street, whoever is like the worst of those two, and put Aaron Loop in there because he is godlike in this game. Looking at his lineup here, okay, he's got Corey Lee, I believe it is, the Astros Future Stars card. Jim Edmonds at first is a little bit of a weird one. So is J Ram at short. Like those are like 2 really weird position change. Like I never see people have J Ram at short or Jim Edmonds at first. His cap is actually in center field as well. That's a strange one. I don't think I've seen a center field cap this year. Austin Martin's a pretty solid card, and Ketel is one of my favorite cards in the game. So he's setting it up like Ketel. Okay, right away we gotta separate Devers and J Ram. I would say you don't really want those 2 back to back, especially if somebody like Keuchel's on the bump. Foskew's pretty solid if you're not playing on Legend, you're playing like Hall of Fame or All-Star. I would really recommend him. Jim Evans is pretty solid. Corey Lee's not bad. His ball player or his cap, I assume, is probably like low diamond, probably isn't like completely maxed out, or else he would be somewhere in the first 4, I would hope. His bench is pretty solid. He's got Bucks on there for some speed. I personally don't use a speed guy, but you know, you can if you want. Sheffield, Nelson Cruz, Doby, and Jock. Doby's a little bit of a weird one. I mean, as long as he's getting production out of his bench guys, I just think there's probably better options than Doby at this point in the game. The team is actually solid. I would maybe try for an upgraded J-Ram. You know, there's a lot of shortstops in the game now. Overall, just like kind of set up the lineup a little bit differently. He only has 2 lefties in here, in Devers and Edmonds, so that's not too bad, but I just don't like how Devers, J-Ram, and Edmonds are so close together in the lineup, if that makes sense. So he could go like Ketel, and then maybe Austin Martin, and then Devers, and then like his cap, and then maybe Foscue, and then Jim Edmonds, and then Austin Martin and Corey Lee to round it out. I think that would be a little bit better and a little bit more diverse. Pretty solid one there for my man Waylon, but moving on to It's Just White Kid, aka my man Doug. If Doug's watching this video, shout out Doug, even though Doug is not actually his real name. He actually sent me, so this is just through like his PlayStation, it looks like, or actually he's on Xbox actually, so he probably just shared this through his Xbox. Pretty solid team. P5 Aaron Judge. Wow, you don't see Aaron Judge P5 a whole lot. Right away, I'm noticing one thing. I would probably put Toglia at first instead of Pete to give you another switch hitter there. Second straight Corey Lee, we will see. Another Foscue, another Ketel. So it seems for like these teams that don't have like all the collections done, players like Foscue and Devers and Ketel are like on them automatically. And they're fantastic cards. I love all 3 of these cards that we are seeing again. Mookie is a card that I don't really see like at all. Gunnar is actually a very good shortstop. I personally didn't try him out, but I've heard very good things about him. So yeah, really all I would do, I'd probably put Toglia in for Pete. You probably don't want Judge and Devers back to back there, so you could go like Mookie, Gunnar, and then Poglia, and then like Cattell, and then Devers, and then Foscue, and then Judge, and then Lee. Maybe that might be a little bit more balanced, but I would definitely start Poglia over Pete. Looking at his rotation in his pen, okay, there's definitely some work that needs to be done here. Michael and Bobby Miller, again, two, you know, they're better than these other three. Is that Cole Hamels? That is Cole Hamels. Okay, I didn't even know there was like a diamond Cole Hamels card. He must have been when Halliday came out. I have no idea that card existed. Logan Williams actually not terribly, has a pretty decent pitch mix. We're looking at 4 lefties in the bullpen. I think that's one too many. I would probably get another high leverage righty in here. Pick up like a Raleigh from the program instead of like Andrew Miller. And once again, we got to get Aaron Loop in here somewhere. He is probably one of the best lefties in the game. I'd probably get the 87 Houston Street over Victor Arano. Is that how you say his name? I also just noticed that my man said, don't roast me too hard. No, there's no roasting going on here, homie. Just good vibes. His bench, Jock, another Buxton, Shea Langoliers. I mean, not a terrible bench. It could definitely be upgraded though, you know, if you get the guys like Sheffield and Casti and Cruz and stuff like that. Jock's a pretty common one. I personally don't use Jock, but he's very common. A bench card I actually don't see too often is, I think it's a 95 Larry Walker, the one with 125 content. He was a headliner. He is like my go-to recommendation for pinch hitters. So I think him and Jock would be really nice against righties, and then you can have Pete on there who kind of hits both, and then, you know, you get Langoliers, and then maybe go by like a Cruz or a Sheffield, or if you're willing to splash some stubs and a bench back, because bench backs are important, go pick up Casti. I think that is a pretty solid team. Obviously, the rotation spots could be upgraded. It looks like he's definitely like not close to Randy at all. At least like I don't see Trout or like Acuna or any like the high like price diamonds at least. But I would definitely focus on upgrading the rotation because the lineup is actually pretty sneaky good. A lot like all of these cards can hit. All right, we'll do a couple more here. My man Blunt Man coming in with the God Squad. This is actually very similar to my team, I think, except I always use my cap, the catcher, I have Brett and Thomas and Utley. That is literally the exact same infield that I have. And then the only difference is that I start Babe over Acuna. So almost like identical team to what I have. His rotation pretty similar as well to mine. I think the only difference is that I don't use Bobby Miller. Bullpen is looking really solid. He's got Loop in there. That's pretty well like standard bullpen that you see. I think that's actually copy and paste exactly the bullpen that I have. I think except I don't use Britton. I use Chapman. No, I have oh no, he actually has 4 lefties in here. Okay, so that's a little bit different. This is what it looks like on the order. So he also has Devers and Ruth on the bench. Henry Davis is a little bit of a strange one on the bench. Mookie and Cattell is pretty solid. So he could definitely upgrade the bench spots as I said with the last team, Castellanos. I'm surprised that he has Brett, but he doesn't have Castellanos. That's a little bit of a strange one. Acuna, Brett, Trout's pretty solid. Escobar is pretty high in the 4-hole, but honestly, that card is insane, so I don't blame him one bit. Frank, Utley, Clemente is good. Mauer and Utley as well. So Mauer and Clemente, sorry. So righty, lefty, switch, righty, lefty. So a couple of lefties at the bottom of the order here, not too bad. I mean, the only real way that you would like get away from that would be to lead off Utley and then start the righty. But this is honestly a very, very nice lineup. Only other upgrade I could think, like unless like you don't want to use a cap, you could use Joe. Like you can use Joe Mauer, or you could just use your cap, and I think that would actually be like a spitting image, except that I use Babe instead of Acuna. So we got our first God Squad. We'll bang on a couple more here. My man Face Me Seth comes in and he sends me not the whole team, but he sends me the setup too. Shit you love to see. My man's got the mix up, he's got the keyboard, he's vibing, he's got this same camera I do. Shout out Elgato. Another Mookie, except this isn't live series Mookie, this is the postseason Mookie, I think it is, or like just the 95 Mookie. Springer, Ruth, Frank, Castellanos actually starting over Clemente. That's a strange one. Trout is also on the bench. Gary Carter and Devers. So I mean the squad's not bad. I would assume he's probably just trying out Springer, and like, you know, he might be getting a little bit bored of using Trout and he's just trying out Springer just because he's a little bit newer. Kind of the same thing with Clemente and Casti. But to make your team the best possible, that would be the exact same outfield that I have. And then he doesn't have George Brett, so I'd probably go towards working George Brett instead of Devers. Gary Carter, a catcher, is a little bit outdated in my opinion as well. Can't get a better first base than the Frank. He also does have Delgado on the bench and Chase Utley, so probably switches his team around a little bit. If I had to guess, like, this is another God Squad. As far as the lineup, I would probably swap Devers and Carter just to give Devers that protection. And I mean, you probably want him batting more times than Gary Carter. Yeah, a very solid team, and he sends me the rotation. A lot of P5s, a P4 Randy in there, pretty solid. Bobby Miller. He's missing Halladay, I would probably put Roy in instead of Musina. Bullpen is pretty solid as well. Another pen with 4 lefties and 4 righties. I'm still a big fan of 5 righties and 3 lefties, just because I think like you're gonna need the righties more than you're gonna need the lefties. Lefty Grove was an interesting one. I'd probably put Loop in there instead of him, but the righties, Duran's good, Cechet's good, Williams is good, Kenley's good. Not really missing anyone there, so I would really, the only change I would make there would be Loop for Lefty Grove. The only is Bobby Miller P2 as well. P5 Corbin, P5 Keuchel is probably one of the best pitchers in the game. A very, very, very good team here though for my man Seth. And last but not least, my man Baldy Vaporized 17, one of my closest friends. He's coming in and we got another God Squad, bro. Wow, everyone that watching me just got God Squads apparently. Cattell, Trout, Babe, Frank, Devers, Clemente, Utley, and Maurer. So a little bit of a different setup team. He's got 4 lefties in here. It's obviously a God Squad, but I just think he could reorder this essentially so that he doesn't have like 3 out of 4 lefties in a row, you know, goes lefty, righty, lefty, lefty. If you're facing somebody like Randy or Keuchel, you're probably not going to have a great time at the bottom of your order. This is pretty well, like, other than George Brett, it's almost identical to Bluntman's team, I think it was, except he uses Babe in left, which is obviously the go-to in my opinion. I would just maybe reorder it a little bit, maybe like move Chase Utley up like here. I think literally all he would have to do would be like move Utley up to the 2-hole, or just like one of these guys up in the order, like up here. Other than that, this is another God Squad. I don't think he sent me his rotation or anything like that, but a fantastic team. I think it just needs to be reworked a little bit in the lineup screen. That's everything though, peeps. I appreciate all the support. 2K subs is crazy. We're grinding. Be sure to go check out the stream down below as well. Let me know if you guys want more of this type of content. I'd probably do this video like maybe like once every like 2 weeks probably, but other than that, man, this is it.